Hi, I'm Jackie Rabbit. Today I want to talk to you about something scary. Change, furloughs, job loss, school, new careers, new pathways. Changes are hard for us, but we can use them to our own advantage. Come on, let's go talk about it a little. Remember, give me a thumbs up on this video and go subscribe. I have a big update that I'll tell you about at the end of this video, and it's big. Go click the little bell so you know when I post a video that has an even bigger update, and then something you're not going to want to miss. Come with me. Let's go talk about changes and why they're important. Change often scares us. The idea of change is something hardwired into the human brain that we just don't like. Although you can cultivate a taste for it. Going through transition, I've learned a few things. I've learned not all change is bad. It can lead you to good places. I found that it's often quite scary, but sometimes it could be a thrill if you choose to view it this way. A good friend of mine once told me, happiness starts in the mind. You simply have to tell yourself the situation will resolve, that everything's going to turn out okay, and somehow or another this will all work out for the best. I agree with that. Sometimes happiness is just a decision. I know a lot of you are going, no, that's not true, because you're in the midst of the stress of a change. Or you've had so much stress from change that you don't believe that that statement is true. It is, though. It is. Happiness is simply a state of mind. Contentment, satisfaction, all of those things, they're a state of mind. Going through a change, even a big one, is hard for us. But it also could be considered thrilling and a new opportunity to do something you haven't done before, to lead you in a new path that might take you where you want to be, to a place of happiness, contentment, and less mosquitoes. Stupid things. They love me because I'm so sweet. Look, it's going to work out. I'm going to tell you right now, I know you're stressed out. I know things are hard, but I'm going to tell you, it's going to work out one way or another. Really, truly, I honestly believe you're going to do this. It's going to be okay. And at the end of all of it, you're going to be in a place that you like more than you had before. I want to address people who are losing their jobs, who are going on furlough. I know you're freaked out. I know it. I know. Short term, it's going to suck. Long term, it might be great. You don't want to hear that right now, and I understand. But I want to remind you about something. Big corporate entities are heartless. They're like narcissists. They want more. You give them more. They expect more. And they just chew you up. I'm also going to remind you that those big, heartless, narcissistic corporations are also full of people with hearts. And they've got to do their job, or they'll be the next one on the hot seat. They have to make hard decisions that at night they go home and just chews at them, and they're popping antacid because the stress for them, still having their job, having to tell people they've lost their job, is chewing away at them on the inside. I know some of you probably don't believe that, but I know how it is from the inside. I've seen the inside of big corporations from the VP level down, and I see what they go through. I've seen it. There are good people there, and it's hard. One of the things lately that I experienced, I want to share with you. A very large tech company I've worked with for the last 5 years through a sales point for an online sales portal just changed all of their financial requirements and the way that they move money. And it's for the better. And this change is freaking me out because I've had it set up a certain way for so long, and then I hear if I don't have all this stuff in compliance, that we could lose our sales channel. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we rely on this, this is so important. And they have the date set one day after my surgery. And I'm thinking I could wake up from surgery and not have a sales channel going at work, and it would be disastrous, and I can't do anything about it because I'm in recovery. So I kept trying to reach out to them, and there was no contact because everyone has closed. So many departments, almost all the customer service departments are closed. Finally, I noticed in the corner of the screen a little tiny phone symbol, and I thought, wait a minute. So I clicked it, and it said that somebody would help me with onboarding. So then I clicked it further, and they said, we'll call you back in 124 minutes. And I'm like, oh, dear Lord. Okay, fine. And they did. And I talked to somebody who was so pleasant, but something came up that I don't normally deal with. And they said, I can only talk to the person who is in charge of this account. Jackie didn't open the account. So I had to tell him. I said, look, I've transitioned. I don't go by that name. I could send you some information, maybe my driver's license or court docs on the name change and stuff. I can't talk in the old voice because I had surgery. There is no old voice. I can't go back to it, so I sound right to you. But he verified some things, and then he was so pleasant. His name was Nicholas. And he's probably watching right now because by the time we got to the end of that phone call, I had been the trans ambassador, and he had questions. And he was a sweetheart. It made my day to speak with Nicholas. He made me feel better about this great big problem that I couldn't fix on my own and needed help. And even though this great big, massive tech company doesn't care about each little gear at the bottom of the food chain, Nicholas took the time to make sure that I could rest easy. That's the kind of connection one really requires. At your job in this great big corporation, you think it's a relationship. You believe it's personal. It's totally not. It's totally not. It's not personal. In fact, while I categorize it as a narcissist who's always going to take and take and take, it's not even that, to be honest. It's just a machine. It really is. It's just a mechanism. A large bureaucratic corporation is just a big mechanism, like a thresher. It brings in the wheat, throws out the chaff, tries to store the good product, and a lot of it gets strewn on the road back to the barn. Nobody goes back for it. And that, unfortunately, is something we view as a personal relationship between us and our jobs. Even if we've been there for 25 years and we've given it our all, more than anyone else, we've put our blood, sweat, tears, and life into this, well, the machine doesn't care. If you fall off the cart on the way back to the barn, the machine's not coming back. But it's also not personal. However, you are now free from the mechanizations of this entire device. You don't see it yet, but you're free to do what you want. You just got freedom. Now maybe the horrible, horrible freedom, you don't want it. I get it. But there's a new horizon now. I'm going back to school. I'm going into a field I really want to. I'm lucky to still have my job, but it pays so very little. And I want to go into a field where I get to work with really nice friends and I get to help other trans people. And it's good paying. It's good. I'm going to have enough to someday retire, I hope, if I'm very careful with my money. So I'm really happy about that. If I hadn't chosen to move away from a career I've been in for 30 years and brave the horrible, horrible freedom, I would never have had that. So, that being said, you have freedom now. So for those of you who still have your jobs, Do be diligent, work hard, be kind, and understand change can come from any place. My next update that I'll tell you is all about the possibility of the scary change. So here's my update. I am literally 5 days away from bottom surgery. Tick, tock, tick, tock. In 3 days, I have to guzzle a whole bunch of Gavolite, which will act something like Drano. A friend of mine said, don't be near the bathroom, be in the bathroom. So I will. I'm going to drag my recliner right next to the bathroom door and have some, extra protection and stuff. And my phone, a charger, a laptop, a book, a little speaker that I can plug into if I want to listen to music, or a book on tape, So yeah, that's a big change, right? The thing that I'm worried about, the scary change, isn't the surgery. It's the fact that it could be called off at any moment. And that kind of looms in there. But if it does, it does. If something happens and somebody has, a hospital full of COVID patients who need to be there and need to be cared for, I'm going to understand that. And I'll move on and reschedule. But yeah, it's scary. I want to get this done. So that's the update, by the way. Anyway, I want to remind you, somehow it's all going to work out. Somehow it's going to have the opportunity to move to something better. And somehow you are going to get through all of this if you simply do this one step at a time. Take it one day at a time. And remember, I really care about what's going on with you. I really do. And you know I do. Some of you I'm speaking directly to right now, and you know who you are. You're very important to me. And I can't imagine not being able to be there and comfort you when you're just so upset. That goes to all of you. I want you to know this matters to me, and I want to remind you you're going to get through it. Take care of yourself. I'll see you next time. Bye. I had to sell my car recently, my old one. I needed to pay for the tires I bought for my new one. The guy came by my office where I work. And it was really funny. He just made the assumption that I got to work there because my dad works there. And I didn't want to correct him. And at the end of it all, I just told him, I'm so lucky that my dad lets me work here.